Hi there, here's our demo for Hera's mechanical drawing review tool. The idea is pretty simple. Engineers spend a huge amount of time manually checking drawings for missing dimensions, tolerance errors, and compliance issues, and Hera's goal is to automate all of that. So let me walk you through it. Let's start with the DDC. This is our deep drawing review. You upload a single drawing and the system classifies what type of component it is, then generates domain-specific checks tailored to that product family. I'll upload our heat exchanger drawing right now. Before I run the review, I want to show you these choose checks options. The first one is our generate domain-specific checks, and this is the AI-driven one. The system will read the drawing, will classify it, is it a vessel, a gear, a shaft, or anything like that, and automatically generates the most relevant checks for that drawing type. You don't have to think about what to look for, it'll figure everything out itself. Second is our manual selection. This is for when your team has specific things they always want checked. You get 3 layers here, a standard checklist, grouped by category, just tick the ones you want. So things like tolerances, surface finishes, weld callouts, and thread specs. And next we have the SOP checks. These pull directly from your organization's uploaded SOPs. So if your company has a standard operating procedure that says every pressure vessel drawing must specify hydro test pressure, for example, then that rule will show up here and you can include it in the review. Finally, we have the custom checks, and here you can type in absolutely anything. So for example, you can say verify nozzle schedule matches P and ID, and you can set the severity to critical, hit add, and this is completely freeform. For the sake of this demo, you'll go with the AI generated option so you can see the full automation. Right away, you can see it's classifying the drawing, figuring out what product family it belongs to. That classification determines which checks get generated. A pressure vessel gets very different checks from a heat exchanger. So now it's generating the domain-specific checks and running the deep review. And here are the results. Each finding has a severity, either critical, major, or okay, and a label explaining what was found. If I click into one, you can see the balloon annotation on the drawing pointing to exactly where the issue is, with an evidence citation and reasoning explaining exactly why it was flagged. There's also an overlay which numbers every part that has an issue on the drawing, and this is especially useful for referencing specific callouts in your review meetings. And like everything in Hera, you can export this as a PDF or save it to a project so it's tracked in your revision history. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. The GD&T or MH tab does something fundamentally different. It's not just checking the drawing against internal rules, it's actually reviewing every single drawing against the machinery's handbook. So as you can see here, I'll hit Start Agentic Review and we can watch what happens. This is the live agent feed. It's orchestrating the review. You can see it decide on its own checklist. Orchestrator produced N checks, and then for each check, it's actually running tools. It's pulling tolerance data, calling the machinery's handbook, and reading numbers straight off of the drawing. You're watching it reason through the drawing in real time. And here comes the results. Each check gets a status, okay, issue, warning, error, or insufficient info. Let me click into this one. You can see the finding, the evidence box on the drawing with the badge number, and the specific machinery's handbook reference it checked against, along with exactly how you can fix it. The key thing is this isn't a static rules engine. It reads the drawing, decides what to check, and reasons through each one. So each drawing has a different checklist. All right, let's go into our assembly review. This is for when you have a full assembly package with multiple drawings that need to be reviewed together and not just individually. I'll upload our heat exchanger assembly folder like I did earlier, and the system processes all the pages and files. And so then I can finally click Start Assembly Review. And 3 things are actually happening in this sequence. First, it identifies the top level drawing so you can see it picked out with a confidence score. Then it runs 6 parallel assembly level passes, A1 through A6, and these cover things like, is the bill of materials complete, or do the interfaces between components actually match up, Are these assembly notes consistent? Things like that. And each pass generates findings tagged by severity. So either critical, major, minor, or info. I can click through the tabs to see what each pass found. Then it goes deeper and reviews each individual drawing in the package. I can switch between assembly level and individual level findings using the sidebar. For teams, there's a review workflow built in, and engineers can accept or ignore findings, and admins can approve or reject the entire review. Now here's where it all ties together. And honestly, I think this is one of the most useful parts of the entire platform. It's called projects. You can think of it as a version control for your drawing reviews. As you can see here, I can create a project. We can call it Heat Exchanger Assembly. And now this becomes the home for every revision of that drawing over its entire life cycle. Every time I run a review from any of the other tabs, whether it be DDC, GD&T, Assembly, or any of my beta tabs, I can save it to this project, and when I do, it lands here as a revision in a timeline. Let me open one up so you can see what this looks like. Each revision sits on this timeline with a few key things. You get the revision number, a date, and this is very important, the SHA hash of the drawing image. That hash tells you whether the actual drawing changed between revisions or whether someone just reran the review on the same drawing. You can see the badges. Drawing updated means the image is different from the previous revision. Same drawing means only the review changed. Next to each revision, there's a thumbnail of the drawing and these clickable chips, as you can see, GD&T, DDC, or Assembly, showing every review that was run against that revision. I can click any of them and the full results expand in line right here in the timeline. So I don't have to leave the project to see the findings. I don't have to run them again. All of them are here. And the review workflow carries through too. So if an engineer accepted or ignored findings, or if an admin approved or rejected something, all of these decisions are preserved in your revision history. So over the life of a design, from the first draft through the final release, you have a complete audit trail. Every revision, every review, every finding, every decision, all in one place. And when your quality team asks, what changed between revision 3 and revision 5? And who signed off? The answer is all here. So that's Hera. We have a DDC for deep single drawing review with AI generated or manual checks. We have GD&T or MH for intelligent review against the machinery's handbook, and assembly review for multi-drawing audits. The whole idea is your engineers will make the judgment calls, but the tedious part, such as the scanning, the cross-referencing, or the did we actually miss something, all of that is handled in our platform.